Aloha, this is Steph with Total Flow. Today I'll be sharing with you a Yin Yoga practice for emotional support, and it's especially beneficial for empaths. So, for today's Yin Yoga practice, you might need a block or books or cushions and a blanket, yoga blanket. If you don't have a yoga blanket, feel free to have like a beach towel or bath towel. So these props are optional, but they're just gonna assist you to really relax your muscles while you're holding the pose. So you can just be in stillness once you're in the pose with more ease. But you can always back off and just do less if you don't have any props. So Yin Yoga, if you're new to Yin Yoga, we focus on targeting the connective tissues and ligaments. So you want to relax your muscles while we're in the pose, and we will be holding the pose for about 3 minutes each. And this class is for emotional support. So in general, Yin Yoga is really great for releasing emotions that are trapped in the body, but especially the Gall Bladder Meridian Points. So each pose targets the meridian points, which are the energy channel in Chinese medicine. So in today's practice, we're going to be focusing on mostly the Gall Bladder Meridian Points, which go from the fourth toe more towards the outer leg all the way up to your shoulder. Gallbladder Meridian Points is a wood element, and it's associated with liver, more so gallbladder, bile, and the dominant emotion is anger. And this also helps with digestion, breaking down of fats, and general health of muscle and connective tissue. And it could help with pregnancy nausea or just nausea in general. And it also helps with courage and judgment and decision making. So I thought at this time, especially those of us that are empaths with so much going on in the collective, we can just take all that on an emotional level. So Yin Yoga really helps with just calming your nervous system from being still, but our focus is more on opening up the body and working with the energy channels of the meridian points. And it really helps to release on an emotional level, the emotional body. So it's one of my favorite practices as an empath, and especially the poses that we're going to be focusing on, it's going to help even more. So in order to come to our first pose, it really helps to sit on a blanket, or you can even sit on like a bed pillow or yoga bolster. And we're going to start with a pose called Deer. So the key is we will start with one leg in the front, one leg in the back. So skeletally, you're working with the natural natural structure of your skeletal body. So see what feels natural for you. So for some, you might have to bend more or open up more. And if you really feel like one hip is, the opposite hip is lifting up high, then definitely sit up on something so that you can be more evenly rooted. So one leg is externally rotated. The opposite leg is internally rotated. So we're getting 2 in 1. And we're going to add a twist to this to start for 1 minute, and then we'll fold forward. So if you need something to support your forehead, you can also have a block in front of you before you go into your shape. And just take a moment to find what feels the most natural for you. This leg might go back for some of you more. Again, you're going to find what feels natural and be able to sit tall, rooting evenly. And then you're going to inhale to reach your arms up high. Exhale to twist. The back hand is helping you to sit tall. And then you have the opposite hand outside of your thigh to help you twist. So for the first minute, it's a little more active than other yin pose. But we're just going to start with some twists just to help with digestion even more. And just take a moment to breathe in and out through your nose. And find a sustainable twist. You can close your eyes once you're in the pose and breathe naturally. Feel free to sigh out. You exhale through your mouth. Releasing and letting go of anything that's not serving you. And then unwind your twist. That was about a minute. And then you're going to inhale to reach up. Allow your spine to round unless you have something going on in your spine where your doctor tells you not to round. And then some of you might just stop here, and maybe you might want to put something under your forehead. It could be a cushion. It doesn't have to be a block. Or maybe you can come all the way down. So again, you want to find what's sustainable for you to hold for the next 2 minutes. And our target area is that outer hip of that front leg. So you might feel some pulling there, some sensation. And again, if it's too intense, you always back off. And then let yourself just be. Observe how your breath is going in and out through your nose. Relax all the muscles of your face. Relax your shoulders. So because we're targeting the Gall Bladder Meridian Points, if any emotions arise, I want to invite you to just let yourself feel. Try not to suppress. This is a safe environment for you to just be with whatever is present for you without any judgment. That way you can just release, transform and heal. The more you relax and find stillness, and allow yourself to just feel, that's where the magic happens. It's our first pose, so you don't want to go too far. Always gradually go in. So that was about 2 minutes. We're going to roll up, and then just to straighten the legs for a moment. You can kind of shake them out. And between the poses, you're welcome to just lie down in Savasana, and just feel the rebound, or you can do some more dynamic stretches or shake them out, move around to loosen out any tension or tightness. And then the best counter pose for deer is just doing the opposite side. Again, we're doing external, internal rotation of your hip joint. This side might feel more comfortable for you or more awkward. So just honor the difference between your two sides. So once you've found your pose, again, you can sit up on a blanket and make sure that your back foot is not on the blanket. So your blanket is only supporting your hips. So the best way to practice Yin is you can fidget around and take your time to set up the pose and really feel. Don't just automatically go to your maximum or push yourself to go to your maximum. You want to honor the present moment, ease into the pose, and really taking that time to set up with the props and positioning and just honoring how it feels instead of automatically doing what you always do or where you think you should be. So we're going to go into that twist for a minute. So inhale to reach up, sit tall. Exhale, twist from your waist. The back hand helps to root behind you to help you lift and sit tall. The front hand is in front of that opposite thigh. Again, you don't have to strain too much. You can really turn from the opposite collarbones and plug your shoulder blades into your chest. This is a little more dynamic than most Yin, but our target area is the deer, the leg. So we're just adding a twist to just enhance and support your digestive system and to detoxify and help to let go of whatever is no longer serving you. So you can sigh objects out your mouth if that helps a few times. And again, because we're being active, we're just holding for a minute. And then come back to your center. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold. Yin, you can let your spine round unless you have a medical reason not to round. You can also just let your head drop, or you can look straight up. Again, if you feel like you need support, you can bring your block underneath you at any height, or a cushion, a towel. Just letting your props meet you where you are. So you never want to, you don't have to use any props, especially in Yin. And whatever is going to help you find more ease. Relax all the muscles. See, where you're gripping, where you're holding yourself up. And see if you can just release into gravity, completely surrender, allowing your earth to support you. The Yin Yoga practice can be very grounding for that reason. Just letting go, releasing into the earth, any efforting to hold yourself up, observing the natural breath, honoring whatever emotions that arise. And that's the benefit of the home practice. So you can just be alone, create that sacred space. It's also nice to do this in the dark, maybe with some candlelight. And some essential oil in the diffuser. Slowly and mindfully roll yourself up. So because we hold a pose for a while, you really want to take your time. Come out as slow as you need. Assist your hands. You need to bring your legs in front of you. And then you can do some windshield wipers, feet wider than your hips. Lean back and release. And then just swing your knees side to side. Or you can just shake them out. Or you can fold forward. So next pose we're going to do is shoelace, half shoelace. So you're going to bend your right leg. The left leg is relaxed straight in front of you. And let this knee drop. So some of you might need a block underneath if you feel like it's lifted here and you're gripping. Or you might be like more out here. Some of you might have to just do square instead. So this is the easiest option, the most modified. So you put one shin in front of the other, or you can stack your shins on top of the other. So you can either do square or half shoelace. You can also put more blankets underneath to lift you up higher if that helps to release your back. If you're rounding too much and if it's challenging to sit tall. So you want to sit evenly through your sit bones. Let this knee drop. Our target area is that outer hip. So again, you might need a prop to support you. And you don't have to come to your maximum. It's better to stay at 60-70% of your maximum. So your hand can rest. You can use your hand, bottom hand, to help you relax your head. And this is not the most like kind of awkward pose when you're in it. It's not the most comfortable, relaxing pose. But try to relax all your muscles. And do not let that hip lift. You want to really ground through both sit bones, even if you have to back up from the side bend. And you want to feel this in your, what matter is the target area. You want to feel some stretch in your outer hip and the whole side body. And this top arm can be at the waist, or you can wrap behind your waist, or you can rest it on top of your head. Some people like that, so you can see what calls to you. You're going to be here for 3 minutes total. You can close your eyes once you're in the pose, and as you're holding, if it feels like you're straining and you've gone too far, you can always back off, or you can go in more, deeper if you feel the opening from the hold. Other than that, try to just be still, observing the ebb and flow of your inhales and your exhales. If you just let your head drop, sometimes you can even get a really nice neck stretch, side neck stretch. And you can even angle your chin anyway. And you might get a nice stretch in that levator scapula, the back of your neck, which is a tension spot for a lot of us from being on the computer. Last minute. And then gently come up. Unwind your legs. And again, that's not the most comfortable. It's a very awkward pose for a lot of us. So the Yin practice teaches us to find the ease in that unknown, awkward discomfort. So now we're going to do the other side. So you're going to bring your left leg on top, and again, we're not symmetrical, so one side you might have to do a different modification. And just take a moment to set up the pose. Again, if you need support, you can either have a block or something like a folded blanket underneath this knee, or you can do square. Left shin in front, or stack your shins on top of each other. So that's another option if shoelace doesn't feel right for you. And then root through that both sit bones evenly, sit tall, and exhale down. So depending on what's going on with your body, you might feel more tight here. You can stop at that initial point of resistance. You don't have to be at your maximum. And sometimes if you went too far, you go back. And once you're in the pose, you can release your head, or you can support your head with that bottom hand. Try not to lean forward and back. Keep that opposite sit bone grounded. So you feel it all in the outer hip and your side body. Putting the top hand can be at your waist. You can wrap it around behind your waist. You can bring your hand behind your head. This option will give you some heart opening and tap into the lungs and the heart meridian point. So see how you can find more ease. Make sure you're not tightening all the muscles here. And if you want, you can always back off. So you can always go deeper. If you're good where you are, stay where you are. And you just want a luxury in stillness. You can honor any emotions that arise, let yourself feel, let them just pass through you. Just being present with what is. allowing it to be transmuted into positivity. And then slowly roll up. And bring your legs in front of you. Shake them out. Or you can, that was really intense. If you need, you can just lie down for a moment. Find stillness on your back in Savasana and feel the rebound. So one of the biggest benefit and the most important part of a yin practice is that you just get still and let yourself just feel the rebound. Whether it's physical, emotional, energetic. Always tuning in and seeing what calls to you. You might want to move around more. It's up to you. You can even do windshield wipers lying down or seated. I just give you a lot of choices. Because every time you come to the mat, it feels different. Each pose feels different. Each side feels different. Every day, the same pose feels different. And it's different for everyone. Alright, so now we're gonna be doing some spinal release. So you're gonna come onto all fours and just make big circles, loosening out your spine. And when you just go side to side, you can really release your back, also the outer hip too. And then we're going to be coming into Swan. So you're going to bring your right leg forward, walk your back leg in. And again, depending on your hip joint, you might be more in that perpendicular shin with the top of your mat, or you might have to bend that front leg more. Again, you just want to make sure you feel the pose in your outer hip. So we're going to start with the first minute on our fingertips. If you have long arms, you might just be on your hands to help you lift your heart, open your heart, shoulders down. And the key is, in yin, you can kind of shift your hip one to the other, as long as you're not feeling any sharp pain anywhere. As long as you're feeling the outer hip, that Gall Bladder Meridian Point. If you want a deeper heart opening, as long as your back feels good, you can even have your hands on the block. And then you're welcome to just stay here if you feel like you're in more of that heart opening, just to reverse all the rounding you do. If you just want to get deeper into the hip, fold forward. You can just stay with your elbows on the floor, or you can bring your forehead down. Again, just taking a moment to find your pose and be. So this point forward, I'm going to give you more silence. So allowing that silence to really help you relaxing all the muscles. Observe any thoughts that arise and let them just flow through. We're just allowing that key life force energy to flow through, especially in the Gall Bladder Meridian Points. You want to come up with your heart. And there are a couple ways to come out of this. You can lean towards that the hip of that front leg, and then swing that back leg forward. Or you can just go to all fours or down dog. It's nice to just do some down dog. And open up that hip. And then set up for the other side. And bring your left leg forward, right leg back. Honoring that each side is different. Some of you might need to pad that hip. But again, in Yin Yoga, we're not trying to force your hips to square. As long as you don't feel any sharp pain anywhere. Soften, bring softness to the muscles. And we're going to start 1 minute with the swan. So when we're uplifted, you want to bring this element of heart opening. You might also feel some stretch in that hip flexor, as well as your outer hip. You can even have your hands on blocks. You need to go higher. And just be here for a minute, or you can just stay here the whole time. It feels like, feels good to you, or if you feel that you're benefiting more from this variation. Otherwise, you can start to fold and stop wherever you need to stop. Honor that each side is different. You might have to just stop here, or you can even have the blocks under your elbows. This is more of a modification. And now we're folding into sleeping swan. We're going to be here for 2 more minutes. We've already been here for a minute, so 2 more minutes in here. And as you're holding, I'm just going to give you more silence. Just observe your emotions, let yourself feel. This is the pose that a lot of us start to feel, especially if you have a lot of suppressed emotions. Let it be transmuted into positively move through you instead of being stuck in your body, in your energy field. Your busy mind, just watch your thoughts just float by like you're watching clouds float by in the blue sky. 1 more minute. See where you can relax. Back off if it's too intense. Or you can go deeper if you feel the opening. And you don't have to push to the maximum just because it's the last minute. It's more about finding ease in this discomfort, awkwardness. Allowing that key life force energy to flow through. Opening up that energy channel, the other meridian points. So you're going to slowly come onto your hands. And this time I'm going to lean to that front leg side. Bring that back leg forward. And sometimes one side feels so much more intense, so you can just kind of shake it out. And make your way on to your back. For the next pose, if you have a blanket, you can have it on top of your head. Or some of you might need a block over your head. We're going to go into Bananasana, which is a side body opener. And I'm going to give you option to bring your arms over your head. So that's going to really allow the shoulders to open, as well as activating the heart and the lung meridians along with the gallbladder. So you're going to start by coming to the right side with your hip. And then keeping the shoulders grounded, walk your torso to the right. And then walk your leg, to the left, and then walk your legs to the left. Once you're there, you can cross at the ankles, whichever gives you more stretch here with ease. And you have option to just have your arms by your side or over your head. You can have your arms over your head, grabbing the opposite elbows, or you can just grab the opposite wrist. Once you're in the pose, just let your whole back body around. Relax all the muscles, and then you might have to experiment with crossing one ankle over the other, or you might not feel right to cross, then you don't have to cross. You can switch the crossing at any time, but you don't have to. One more minute. See where you can let go. And breathe and visualize all the opening through the whole side body, the right side of your body. And slowly, inch by inch, you'll first release your arms, uncross your left ankles, if they're crossed. Inch by inch, come back to your center line. That felt a lot for your back. You can bend your knees. Bring your knees slightly wider than your hips, knees together. Or you can do a couple windshield wipers and then just come to your knees together. Or you can just come to Savasana. So feeling that rebounding energy. Noting that subtle shift. So you might feel dancing of energy inside your palms or on your skin, or even slightly off of your skin. Just feel that chi or ki moving through, energizing. Coming alive. And then when you're ready, shift your hips to the left and then start to walk your legs to the right, inch by inch. Stop wherever you need to. Sometimes you feel like you don't even go anywhere and you feel a lot of stretch. Some of you might be very limber, and one is not better than the other. As long as you're feeling the stretch through the outer thigh. one side is going to be much tighter than the other. You can have the same ankle on top as you did on the other side. Make sure both hips are grounded, both shoulders are grounded. You can keep your arms by your sides, or you can bring them over your head. So grabbing the opposite elbows, or grabbing the wrist, opposite wrist. And if it's challenging to bring your arms overhead and ground it onto the mat, you can always have a folded blanket or block. Again, this is Bananasana, big side opener, all the way through your Gall Bladder Meridian Points. Let go of any straining, efforting. Allow your whole back body to ground. And see if you can give your permission to just, give yourself the permission to just be. Honoring this moment. Honoring what is present for you. Without any judgment. Giving yourself the permission, the space, the sacred space to feel. And that's the true gift of healing. And you release on an emotional level. Last minute. You can always cross, uncross, however way that feels right for you. Start to release your arms by your sides, uncross your legs, and inch by inch, come back to your center line. And gently hug your knees. Go back and forth just to lengthen the lumbar spine, releasing your back. You can also make circles with your knees. And just go forward and back. Just very soothing, a rocking chair. And then bring your knees slightly wider than your hips. Bring it to happy baby. So ankles are on top of your knees, soles of your feet towards the sky. And then grab the outer feet and pull down. If that's not available to you, grab the back of your thighs and pull down. And then hug your knees. Give yourself a big squeeze on a big inhale. And exhale. Savasana. So you can have a rolled blanket under your knees. Or you can have blocks at whatever height under each knee. So the higher you have the blocks, the more lower back support you're going to get. if you need support for your neck and shoulders, you can also have a blanket under your neck and head. Again, you don't need any of these props. You can just come onto your back, open your arms out to the side, and just kind of readjust your clothing. Something itches, you can scratch, readjust your hair. Whatever's gonna get in the way from relaxation, get it out of the way. And just make sure there's some space under your armpits. So you want to bring your arms slightly away from your body. And then completely let go. And because the approach to the practice is very similar to Savasana, in that we relax the muscles and observe the natural breath, it's gonna be easier to sink into that deeper relaxation during Savasana. And most Yin practices, the final peak pose is Savasana, is the peak pose. So allow yourself to just be. Let thoughts just flow through you. Soften everything. Let go of any efforting to hold yourself up. Allow yourself to release into a deep relaxation. Reminding yourself there is nothing to do, nothing to prove, but just allowing yourself to be, receiving all the benefits from the efforts you put into your practice. Receiving all the support from beneath you, the props, the mat, the floor, the earth. Relax into the silence, into the stillness, completely surrender to be supported. And feel free to stay here as long as you would like. And whenever you're ready, take some deep breaths in and out through your nose. wiggling your fingers, your toes, making any movements to help you slowly and mindfully transition out of your rest. And then hug your knees into your chest, rolling to your right side. Let your movement in fetal position. And keeping your gaze inward, gently press yourself up, coming to a comfortable seated position. Sitting tall. Lift your heart as you bow down. Just taking a moment to give yourself gratitude for showing up for yourself. This deep emotional healing self-care practice. Recharging you energetically, releasing any energy drain, reversing any energy drain, overwhelm into this calm and joyful state. Letting go of all the emotions that came up for you, giving gratitude for any lessons that it brought you. So thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. See you next time. Namaste. Go within and find your inner sparkle.